So this is most of my bit holder collection, and the reason that I started collecting bit holders is because of these awesome Japanese bits. These are Japanese industrial standard, Japanese cross type. They're not really Phillips, and they are so awesome. These are made in Japan. This is from the Vessel brand Procon line. I'll put links to that in the description. These bits are the reason I started collecting bit holders. And there's a lot of other reasons too. But with bit holders, there's some drawbacks. They can be sloppy, they can be imprecise, they can be a little bit clumsy, but bit holders also tend to have all the interesting gimmicks like bit magazines, right? Telescoping ends. This one has the most awesome smooth ratcheting in there, plus it has the magazine. This video has been very challenging and very frustrating to make because I've been trying to lead up to just coming right out and saying this one is the best. Yep, the Wiha CentroFix. And many of you right now are confused because if you've watched my channel, you know that I've raved about this hot set. Inexpensive, I love the ergonomics, and it has a magnetic end in there, and it has a spring-loaded single BB in the corner, and it works great. And that's why I have 4 of these, and I love to put these Japanese bits in there that aren't necessarily made for it. I put those in there, and they work in there really well. Very little play, nearly none, but just a tiny bit. So nice. I love these. All right, so why am I saying the Wiha CentroFix is the best? This is new. Well, it's not because of the ergonomics of the handle. I'm not a fan of the Wura handle. I've said that before, and I'm not a fan of the Wiha handle, although I like the Wiha handle better than the Wura handle, but I like the hot set handle better than the Wiha and the Wura, and I like Felo better. And I like PB Swiss better. I really like PB Swiss grip. But this PB Swiss bit holder is just a simple magnet. The only thing I really put in here are these small insert bits. That's the only thing I ever really use in this small one, in the PB Swiss. And I do have screwdrivers. I have Japanese screwdrivers. I have fancy Swiss screwdrivers. I love my PB Swiss grip screwdrivers, specialty lengths, all the different tip sizes. Okay, so why am I saying this one is the best? It's because of this, the engineering in this bit holder. This is the Wiha CentroFix. They don't have the labeling on here that they should, in my opinion, have on here. But this has no magnet. It has a spring-loaded collar that does lock when it's out like that. And then you can put a bit in there. When you push the bit in, it does not automatically lock like the Wura does. But it has 4 locking BBs in here, and it absolutely takes out the play. The play is, I mean, it is nothing. For all practical purposes, it is nothing. It's absolutely amazing. So they put the BBs on the flat and not on the corner of the hex. So there's 2 of the BBs on the flat, then they skip a flat, and then the flat next has got 2 more, and those are spring-loaded. And if you look at the amount that the collar pulls back here, you're looking at about 1/8 of an inch. When you put a bit in here, you've got about 1/16 of an inch exposed on this collar. It's keeping that under a constant spring tension compared to the Wiha ClicFix. So this is the ClicFix, not the CentroFix. The ClicFix, I mean, it does maintain some sort of a spring tension in there, probably with some little flat leaf springs or something, but the collar doesn't have any constant spring tension forward or backward along the axis of the screwdriver. And you can see that the quality of the ClicFix compared to the CentroFix is just not there. That isn't even the best feature of this. The best feature of this is the compatibility. So it is made specifically for DIN 3126 ISO 1173 form E6. So E6 is this typical end that we all see, fits in power tools, it's ubiquitous. The other standard that this is specifically made for is form C6. C6 is this other standard that is very typical, very common, like this. Okay, you've got the little machined nicks in the corners on the hex shape. And PB Swiss even made a C6L, which is now discontinued. And I'll put links to places where you might be able to still find these in the description. These bits also fit in here wonderfully. All of them, the C6 style fit in here. Okay, no surprises there, right? That's not really any big surprise. The surprise really for me was how well Japanese bits fit in here, which have a 13mm offset on the anvil, not the 9mm offset. Those are just awesome in here. Just unbelievably awesome. Little bit better than the hot set, because there's not much room for improvement on the hot set, but this is better. It is rock solid. The other thing is the Wiha double-ended bits. Okay, these typically come in these tools. The 26-in-1s, for example, that I have here, have these double-ended bits. And those are a little bit longer than your C6, right? So that's the end of the C6 from the notches to the end, and then you've got this extra. That's why these don't fit in just about every bit holder. These things are kind of an oddball in that way. So they fit in here, they lock in here. That was quite a surprise. So compatibility. You've got compatibility with pretty much every kind of bit in this. So these small insert bits, they sink in here pretty far. They work, they're rock solid, but you really don't have any visibility left on it after you put the small insert bits in here. Here's a small C6. You can see that's not a lot. So that would be maybe a downside, but the compatibility and the absolute minimum play that's left putting a bit in there. Okay, you just watch me rave about Wiha CentroFix. Okay, they make a bit adapter version of the CentroFix, and they even make a stainless steel version of that. I hate these. I hate them. They're horrible. They're awful. Okay, so here we are at the lathe. I'm not putting the micrometer on this. First thing we're going to do is we're going to put this CentroFix bit adapter in here. It's been press fit onto this hex shaft in such a way that this hex shaft is bent. And I saw in the reviews, I believe it was on Wiha Tools USA, somebody else commented on this. Okay, you can see that. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. Okay, here, let's show the, okay, here's that. I'm gonna put that here so I'm not taking it off camera, so people don't think I'm doing a switcheroo on them. It's amazing what people think I'm doing, and I'm not doing it. So there's a PB Swiss C6L Phillips #1 bit. That thing is just awesome and true and wonderful. We'll put this in the bit holder, We're gonna lock the bit holder so there's no play in here. And now we're gonna put this back in here. Look at that. Man, I mean, that is just garbage. It's just garbage. I was like, hey, I wanna be able to put these in a drill and, you know, and I could see it. I'm like, what in the heck? You know, and then you put a bit in there, and because there's no play in here, it's just crazy. I'm like, what in the world is Wiha doing? I can't recommend these for use in a drill. So what are you gonna do with it? So what I did with this was I took one of my Felo. What I wanted to do was to flat this, drill this out, and put a set screw in here, which I did. So this set screw does not come on the Felo Smart handle. Take the set screw, tighten this down. Now there's no play on this, it's not gonna fall out. And I've got a nice little T-handle adapter with a really good, precise bit holder in it that is only good for hand use and low RPM. This is worthless in a drill. All right, so I also bought the CentroFix Stainless 7148 ST. This one isn't quite as bad, but it's still pretty bad. Okay, you probably can't see that, but it wobbles. And it's probably within tolerances. I think that I will end up using it for its intended purposes. Number 2, stainless steel bit from my Wiha bit check here, stainless steel edition. You know, put that in there. That's how that fits in there. It really goes in there quite far. And then somewhere around here I have a stainless steel screw. Here it is. Put that on there. And that's about how that is. So it's not, the stainless steel one isn't too bad. It's still got a fair bit of wobbling to it. Wiha does make another one called CentroFix Force. So the CentroFix Force isn't too bad. There's just a slight wobble there, but because there's play in it, more play in the CentroFix Force than there is in the CentroFix, the play actually provides a means for the wobble to work itself out. See? Depending upon where it centers itself in there. And this is a kind of a different design. The bits push in there and they kind of wedge. The bits are wedged in there and you gotta release them by basically kicking them out. Okay, so that's, all right, so if you stuck with me this long, I guess this is bonus content, right? So you can see a difference in the same tool. It's the CentroFix handle, but this is white printed ink, whereas this is the same red plastic as the base here. So this is goes through the mold here, and this was purchased from Amazon DE. This is what you get when you purchase it in the United States. From KC Tool, I got it in this packaging. And the part number in the States seems to be 76,000. Of course, I'll have links to Amazon DE and to KC Tool. KC Tool, I think, is out of stock on this, and I don't think they can back order it right now. Click the link, check KC Tool. I'm not sure. You know, I think they'll get it in stock eventually, so just check. But Amazon DE had this, so I wanted to say that. And then I wanted to just point out that this is the new little Hazet bit driver, and it is a little bit different than the Hazet 810 BH in that now you pull back to release instead of pulling forward to release the bit. Okay, so they changed this now. I don't know if this is what they're going to put on new versions of this. I don't know what they're going to do, but I'm okay either way. It seems to be the same amount of play or precision. It's a single BB on the corner on both of these, and it's the same amount of play on those. And I don't know how I feel about the collar forward versus collar back workflow. If I have a preference, I guess I don't really have a preference about that right now, but that's a difference. This is the neat little one. I got this from KC Tool. They had it tool of the day, and I grabbed 2 of these actually. C6L bits. These are discontinued by PB Swiss. If anybody knows of any manufacturer still making a C6L long bit like this, please, in the comments. Places that I know of where you can still get stock of these C6Ls are in the United States from Tool Lady and from Amazon Japan, and I will put links in the description. So the Tool Lady, I called her, I left her a voicemail, she called me back. It wasn't the same day, I think it was a day or 2 later. She called me back and I asked her what stock she had of C6L, and she had a fair bit of stock, and I bought 5 bits from her, and I asked her if she had more in case somebody asked, and she said yes. So that was earlier in the spring though when I bought these, so you'll have to call her and ask if she has any C6L. And I will put links also to Amazon Japan, because they also, I think, still have some of these C6L bits in stock in Amazon Japan, but these are discontinued and these products will be disappearing. All right, I hope that was an enjoyable, informative video, and thank you for watching.